Boone Hospital is just one hospital that is suffering from a nationwide nursing shortage. I talked to several ICU nurses to uncover what it's like to work in a critical care environment that they describe as understaffed. They say this is caused by what they report as a 25% turnover rate, and that is almost 10% higher than the national average.
When you come to the ICU, it's the worst day of your life.
But could something make it even worse?
You had nurses who didn't have the training to taking care of patients that they weren't supposed to be.
Intensive care unit nurses at Boone Hospital tell me that's because there aren't enough nurses to safely take care of patients.
Nurses are taking patient loads that far exceed what we're capable of doing, and then the care we give people isn't adequate, and both patients, I feel, are in an unsafe environment, as well as nurses.
I requested documents from Boone Hospital to see if there was a decrease in nurses, but the communications manager denied my request, saying, "We aren't going to provide data for the story." So without numbers, I interviewed numerous nurses to uncover what it's like to work on the ICU floor. We are concealing the identities of those nurses who have concerns about their current employment at Boone and elsewhere.
If they don't have enough nurses, they send like an all text to all of us saying, "Hey, we're offering bonus."
Got to the point where you had to put your phone on vibrate because you were constantly getting phone calls and text messages. They were, just always blowing up our phones.
And this is what those text messages look like.
I get two texts like every single day.
The nurses told me when they don't have enough people working, high-quality patient care goes out the window.
Patients have fallen, they'd hit their head or they pull things out.
Employees showed me an email they say the chief nursing officer sent to the ICU staff acknowledging the condition of Boone Hospital's work environment. The email read in part, "I will be very transparent that I am concerned about the health of the ICU. We have some work to do to make improvements." Boone Hospital denied my request for an on-camera interview, but sent me a statement that says Boone has greater demand for nurses, especially in the ICU, that it's like other hospitals nationwide, impacted by population and healthcare reforms. Further, the hospital says it has launched initiatives to attract and retain nurses, and it says it will continue to do so to maintain a top level of care. But how many nurses really are enough?
The state has complex rules and regulations for hospitals, and that includes some things about nursing.
Missouri law states no specific nurse-to-patient ratio, but rather a requirement to make a plan. It states, all hospitals shall develop and implement a methodology which ensures adequate nurse staffing. Some nurses don't want a strict rule on ratios.
There's a tendency in rules and regulations, or sometimes people propose the solution to say this is how many nurses there should be for this many patients. We believe that is the wrong approach.
At Boone, some nurses think their current ratio is consistently too high.
In a perfect world, our staffing ratio should be 1 nurse to 2 patients. That's across the board. That's an ICU thing. I mean, that's safety. If we're not safe, patients aren't going to be safe either.
After Boone sent me its initial statement, it declined to answer my follow-up questions regarding patient safety and staffing. We started promoting the story this week, and today Boone reached out to us asking to talk.
So the national nursing shortage is affecting not only nationally but also locally, specifically at Boone Hospital Center, but around the entire region we're seeing that. And so what we do see is that we are challenged with finding experienced nurses.
What are your thoughts right now on nurses telling people that they don't feel safe and that they're not able to provide adequate care for patients when they're having to juggle 2 or 3 patients at one time?
So at Boone Hospital Center, we do provide the most excellent care at the hospital, specifically in the intensive care unit. One of our highest priorities is about safe, quality care, to the point that all hospital employees hold up our standards of excellence. And we have 10 of those standards of excellence, but our number 1 is promoting that safety, and that includes safety of our patients and also safety of our staff.
I also reached out to University Hospital to see how the nationwide shortage is affecting its intensive care unit. It told me that safety is its first priority and that it staffs its ICU based on patient need, checking and reviewing and adjusting ICU nurse numbers every hour. It did acknowledge the national shortage, and it said it has the advantage of being the state's leading Academic Medical Center. Reporting live in Columbia, Alyssa Casares, KMU 8 News.